Welcome to the Everyday GSD Podcast.
Don't be afraid to have to reinvent yourself, because that's coming.
If you can give back and just change the life of one person, you'll never regret it.
And what are the things I'm actually good at? And let me just stay in my lane and hone in on those things.
Just do the work. Don't be scared to roll your sleeves up.
And it's okay to be afraid. You're capable. You are fucking capable.
When you look up the word impossible, it says it can't be done, not possible. Impossible doesn't exist unless you accept it as being impossible.
Listen, you're going to get knocked down, but you got to get up. If it's what you really want to do, fucking just do it. Like always, today's episode is brought to you by our amazing sponsors: gluten-free diet water, premium junk clothing, Williamson wines, and Good Dudes Coffee. Gluten-free diet water. Stay hydrated with a refreshing twist, perfect for those health-conscious listeners. Premium junk clothing, for those who love to express their unique style with high-quality fashion pieces. Visit premiumjunkclothing.com and use code EverydayGSD15 at checkout. Williamson Wine, natural artesian wine from Napa and Sonoma. And last but not least, Good Dudes Coffee, veteran-owned by former Navy SEAL Josh Bridges, and where every cup is brewed with passion and dedication to quality. Visit their website at gooddudescoffee.com and use discount code EverydayGSD10 for an exclusive offer. Thanks to our sponsors for supporting the show, and now let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the Everyday GSD Podcast Hollywood. Today, our sponsor is Good Dudes Coffee, gooddudescoffee.com. Go find Josh Bridges on our podcast. He's awesome, former Navy SEAL and a CrossFit athlete. Gooddudescoffee.com. Go to gooddudescoffee.com and type in Everyday GSD10 to get your discount. He is an awesome, awesome dude, a veteran that supports the show. So support him, because why not? He supports us, support him. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Good Dudes Coffee. Okay. I will say before we start with Lauren and TJ White, I was thirsty, so I was able to drink some gluten-free diet water. We're going to talk about that. No, honestly, I want to welcome our guests, Lauren and TJ White. Welcome.
Thank you.
And I'm going to do just a little brief bio on you guys. You may laugh and say it's not true, but this is facts, so this is what we're going to do. You're a Hollywood power couple. You've been married approximately 5 years. Is that correct?
Together 12.
Been together about 12 years. Oh, look at you. You're on it already. You guys own T-Minus Productions, which is a stunt, action design, film, and TV company. And you are the founder of Gluten Diet-Free Water, which I cannot wait to talk about. T-Minus Productions was established itself by designing and producing action scenes for Hollywood's most creative directors and producers. How am I doing so far?
You're doing great.
Okay.
Great.
I mean, we're in Hollywood, so I got to make sure I'm like, up to par with you guys. Okay. You guys are stunt coordinator, TJ. T-Minus has accumulated credits in film, television, animation, commercials, music videos for almost 3 decades.
Yeah.
I feel like you're not old enough to do that. You started when you were 5 years old, but that's okay. And on top of all that, you also own a tech company called Jocko, which we'll get into that. And we also have a guest in the studio watching us right now. Do you want to introduce him real quick?
Sure. My stepdad, Dennis Koth.
Denny.
Denny's in the house. So
Denny.
So I'm sorry. We will probably say a couple curse words, and we'll say some things that you might not want to hear. But trust me, it's all in good fun. And if you don't like it, we'll delete it out after, or you can just step out. Yeah. And the bathroom's down the hall, right? Okay. Well, let's just get into this. Lauren.
Hi, Darin.
How are you?
Doing good.
Awesome.
I just love you trying to say gluten-free diet water with a straight face.
And actually, I'm going to put this back up. I can't wait to drink it because I'm definitely gluten-free.
It's Hollywood's secrets to shredded abs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. No, but it's all seriousness. Let's talk about, how did you guys get into the business? I mean, you've been doing this for 30 years. You've been together for 12 years. Mm-hmm. Let's just jump into it. Like, you were a little kid and you were like, I want to get into the stunt business world.
Well, actually, my dad, I'm second generation stunt coordinator, second year director. My dad's been in the business. He's a stunt coordinator for movies like Stripes and Revenge of the Nerds, Young and the Restless for years, and Days of Our Lives. So I was introduced in the business. I saw him work in the business for years, so I wasn't sure if I really wanted to be in the film industry. So I actually became a chiropractor too. So I'm
Okay,
a
so you're a
licensed
chiropractor.
Yeah, I'm a licensed chiropractor. Still keep my
nice.
license, but I retired in like
You love that,
06.
right?
I was like, it's quite. I know. I do have to like take out the table, and I'm like, please just.
Yeah. So I had a successful practice in the Valley for 10 years. And then I watched a documentary, The Kid That Stays in the Picture, about Bob Evans. And it just it really, while I was doing chiropractic, I was still stunt coordinating, music videos, like working with NSYNC and Bon Jovi and stuff like that.
Groups that no one knows about. Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
small
sure.
videos.
Yeah, sure. Just tiny shit. Yeah.
So I saw this documentary and I was like, I really want to get in the film industry more and focus on that. So I sold my practice. And then I did home visits for my celebrity clients and for TV films that I was the doctor for on those things when,
So you're going to see them because they're trying to fix their back or make sure preventive maintenance on their back?
Both injuries or preventive maintenance. I treated at that time like 80% of the stunt community. So,
Okay.
I consider stunt performers as like elite athletes.
Oh, absolutely.
So, just trying to keep their body in tune and, the ground doesn't get any softer as you get older. So these stunt performers are actually hitting the ground constantly over and over and over. So we'd have to go and adjust their spine or manipulate the joints to actually keep that joint moving properly. And so it doesn't degenerate.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And so what made you leave the chiropractic world that, in my opinion, is a lucrative world?
It was lucrative. I worked a lot of hours and running my own practice. But watching that documentary, The Kid That Stays in the Picture, really, I said, I want to do something more creative in my business. And I wanted to move as a director and producer while doing our day job as a stunt coordinator. So
And so for people that don't know, because obviously we are in Hollywood, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show. So what is a stunt coordinator?
Stunt coordinator, basically what we do is we get we read a script from the director, writers, and producers, and they'll have an idea of doing some stunts. And then we'll come in and creatively help them either create that stunt that's on paper, or we'll entice it to make it look a little better or make it a little more dynamic. And we create the stunt from paper to actually filming. So we'll set it up if we're doing car crashes or what. We'll work with different departments like special effects departments to actually prep the cars and then actually do the stunt.
So say like in the script, like man jumps off of building into car. Literally, you'll see something like that.
Right.
So then TJ has to say, okay, what's your budget? And
Yeah.
so then he has to see about, okay, one is how big is this building? It's also separate shots. I mean, the guy that jumps off of a building
Or girl, right?
Or girl, of course, ladies, guy or girl. At this point, I mean, there's so many things that they're throwing off of buildings, but it's guy or girl jumps off the building, but that's a different discipline than the guy that's going to then get in the car and drive away. So TJ then has to find a stunt man or stunt woman that can jump off a building, do a high fall, or he'll do wire work, which is a total different skill set.
Is that someone that's attached to a wire and they?
Yeah, we have another company too. We have T-minus Stunt Rigging. So we have semi-trailers worth of rigging equipment. And
Okay.
we have equipment down in Atlanta and here in Los Angeles. And we'll actually come into a set and actually fly people to there, sort of like Spider-Man and stuff like that.
Okay.
Right. But then that guy or girl goes and, okay, they do that. And then they have to go and drive away in a car. Then you have to get someone that is a stunt driver, because sometimes the guy that does all of that, high fall work, they, aren't the best stunt driver.
Right.
It's just, you can only focus on so many skills. Some are great at 2 or 3, but if they hone in on one, that's the better plan.
Right.
So then he has
Stunt performers are usually very specialized in their skill set.
Yeah.
If they're mixed martial arts, or if they're dirt bikes or motorcycles or cars, and you might hit, back in the 70s, you'd have cowboys that did everything. They're very well-rounded. Some people
Who probably needed to use a chiropractor.
Oh,
a
totally.
lot.
Those cowboys.
His
You see them, they're limping.
His dad
limping
talked
around.
about they would put in cardboard boxes instead of stunt pads. Like
Oh, yeah.
there's
or
stunt
leather.
or leather.
Sheets of leather as a pad.
Because there's stunt pads now that are so thin, but you can hit the ground, and it's just because of the technology.
Right.
But he's like, oh no, sometimes they wouldn't use them. But he says, you just put a U-Haul box in
Kick
your
in the
pants.
ass and suck it up.
Yeah,
You're fine. We're still filming.
When you watch them walk too, they look like John Wayne and those guys walked a certain way because they were on horses, right? I mean, like stuntmen, when it's an older stuntman, because you're like, oh man, That guy's done it
Hip
well.
replacements.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Everything.
Knee,
Yeah,
Achilles.
knee replacements. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So the guy that's jumping off a building is not necessarily in today's stunt world is not necessarily the person that's going to wreck the car into the building.
Yeah, I mean, not necessarily. There are some that do specialize
Right.
in a bunch of things, but now they're very specialized performers. Like even the stunt drivers are like ex-pro drifters and rally drivers and stuff like that. So it's definitely since Fear Factor is around and stuff like that, people are very skilled people that are coming into the business now that they haven't been in the early 70s and 80s. Now you'll have guys, UFC guys that are coming in, doing fights with us and stuff like that, which is great.
Yeah.
What's the UFC fight, that movie that just came out? Or no, Roadhouse?
Roadhouse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Roadhouse,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Conor
McGregor.
McGregor. Did you guys work at all with him, or we can't talk about that?
We did
No,
not.
I've done a commercial with Connor.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a character.
Yeah,
He's a character.
we had a guest a little while ago, actually, in one of our Las Vegas episodes.
Oh, yeah?
That actually knows him pretty well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she said off camera he's a pretty good dude. She goes, but
Oh, yeah.
he's a different person on camera. I was like, I mean, I'm sure that's a lot of people.
That's a lot.
And you guys work with a lot of, well, I guess like professional athletes,
Yes.
professional actors,
Mm-hmm.
and people that are literally like, they are probably two different people because they're acting. And people like myself or someone watching a show and you see an individual and you're like, I really like that person. But you don't know that person at all. That you like that character.
Yeah.
Yeah, that character they're playing or that they're
Right.
presenting. They do say that there's certain people you should never meet your heroes, and I haven't met anyone yet that I've been completely disappointed, but
Right.
there's a few of them out there, and you're just like, man,
I
I
have.
should have met you.
Do you want to tell us one?
No, I won't
I
get
know.
into that. With NDAs, we can't do that stuff. But
Yeah.
I would say 95% of the performers, the actors were great to work with. The directors, the producers, really enjoy. Matter of fact, we just did a film in Savannah. We were down there for 3 months, and
Can you tell us what the film is or not yet?
Oh yeah, that one. It was called Green Fairy. Now it's called the
Green Fairy?
But it's called The Vampires of the Velvet Lounge. Much longer, but that was 3 or 4 months in Savannah. And if you've ever been to,
I have.
Oh.
Yeah.
Holy
What a
cow!
great
I did
town.
not know about that town. That town is wild, and we were shooting nights, and it was so much fun. The people were lovely. I would love to shoot more there, but they party. I mean, it's a drinking town.
Oh, it sure is.
But here's
Did you
the
make
thing.
it? Did you make it down to Tybee Island?
We
shot
shot
in
at
Tybee,
Tybee, but we didn't go down and drink at Tybee because we were in like the historic district, so we
yeah.
were there proper. But I thought, college town, maybe you're just gonna see a bunch of like young people getting nutty. I saw grandmas like on their 80th, anniversary or whatever, getting tanked. I mean,
a lot of bachelorette parties.
a lot of bachelorette parties,
And they were wasted.
and you'd see them beeline. I mean, either they were beelining or like we were also beelining at the same time.
Yeah.
But there was definitely some nights out there that were just wild. But so that's why I think more people should shoot out there.
I love Savannah. See how I did that? Savannah's great. And Tybee Island, like I said, I have a friend that owns a seafood place right at the beginning of Tybee Island. I'm probably gonna mess up the name. It's Bubba Gumbo's, I believe, not Bubba Gums, Bubba
Right.
Gumbo's, and it's right when you get it going to Tybee Island. So it's really good. Amazing fresh seafood, like caught right there. She gets the fish right from the fisherman. Like,
Oh,
so next time you guys go do a
Absolutely.
movie,
Our shot was our call time was 2 a.m. and the shot was at like 6 a.m. It was the sunrise.
Sunrise.
So I don't think they were open yet when we wrapped, but we saw a couple places we wanted to go to out there. Yeah.
But I do want to back it up because you said that you got into this industry. Obviously, you're a chiropractor, but you got into this industry because your father was into it.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So how did that translate into you?
Really watching him work, and I spent time on set watching him work. So as a kid, it was easier to get away with questions. So I'd ask a ton of questions about, certain things. Like I was on the set of Dark Man. My dad was double Liam Neeson, and Sam Raimi was the director. So I got to like ask him questions of like, why are you shooting this? Why are you doing this? And I had a height Sony camera, so I was actually videotaping the shots and stuff like that. That was before playback and cameras and stuff like that. And I'll never forget, I shot something, and Sam goes, "Where do you put the camera there?" So I told him where I was. I was like hiding upstairs, some rafters. So all of a sudden I saw him put a camera up in the rafters or this stairway. So he told me to go to film school, but I was like, I got to get a real education. My mom would kill me being a stunt guy, stuff like that. So I actually became a chiropractor instead. I worked for actually my dad's chiropractor, Dr. Bruce Oppenheim. He was a famous chiropractor. He was like the OG chiropractor
out in-
stars
out
in
in
Los
L-
Angeles,
in
in
Los
Tuluc
Angeles.
Lake. And yeah, he saw everyone. It was crazy.
And what was his name again?
Dr. Bruce Oppenheim.
Okay.
And just a wonderful man. And I started working for him and another chiropractor, Dr. John Jaboti. He passed away, but it was an interesting practice that I was in because Dr. Jaboti used to tour with like Hugh Lewis in the News. Before there Hugh Lewis in the News, he was a bass player, and he was like on Elvis Costello's album and friends with them. And so he'd come in and he'd be playing his stand-up bass in the chiropractic office, and dummy me, like I was like, I could do this. Like they're not working that hard. And then I went to chiropractic school, and I was like, oh, you got to go to med school. So I was like, it was really tough for me to like actually go through the med school and get through chiropractic school. I went to Life University in Marietta, Georgia, and graduated from there in '97.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you became a chiropractor.
Became a chiropractor.
Then you worked
practiced.
at a chiropractic office.
Yes.
And then you were doing that for a while, and then you said, you know what, I want to get back into
Stunts.
follow in my dad's footsteps.
Yeah, sort of.
-ish.
Like I did, like when I was going through chiropractic school, I did stunts. I was one of the ghosts in Scream 2. When I was a
So you were an
stunt
actual stunt man
Yeah.
too. So what was your specialty?
performer.
Because we were talking about people jumping out of
car work,
buildings and cars.
driving,
lot of
or a
car
ground pounder and stuff like that. Like
Okay.
As long as it's not parallel parking. I saw that outside.
Yeah, as long as he's
took it a
not,
couple times. I got a Tahoe, so it's like
as long as he's not
You also
parallel
meet-
parking, in
yeah.
case you didn't hear Justin.
squeezing into a little parking space.
Yeah. I mean, we are in Hollywood.
Well, I got Lauren in the car too, so she's like, if I scrape the rims, she's gonna have it. I mean,
Listen,
so.
okay, so here's
Yeah,
what happened.
tell us about it.
Let me tell you. So the last few cars, I've had to get the rims worked on.
Yeah.
And I go, and the guy looks at me and judges me, and he says, "Oh, I see you scraped the rims." And I was like, "Excuse me, sir, that's this guy." And luckily he was with me, and he goes, "Yeah, man, that was me." He scrapes them all the time. I would never.
Not all the
scrape-
time, but there's this one time I did
wouldn't.
hit the
I've
curb.
never scraped a rim because that is.
Because it's not your thing.
It's not. No, that should be no one's thing. But of
So
course.
do you do stunt work too?
Yeah, I'll do stunt work. I actually do car work. And
Parallel parks all the cars.
yeah, I can power.
Yeah.
Car. Yeah, I just let it figure it out. Right? They're all automated.
Tell me some of the stunt work that you do. Like,
Well, some of the stuff that I had fun doing with TJ was we had this Chevy account. One of our friends was the director for, so
Zach
many.
Merrick.
Yeah, Zach Merrick. We love
Wonderful
you.
director.
And so we've done dozens and dozens of Chevy commercials. And one of my probably first, I'd say, car stunt jobs was you know what a shipping container is, right?
I do.
You can barely fit a car in there,
Yeah.
but try fitting a Chevy Raptor, or not, it's not the Raptor, it's the Chevy Silverado. We have to.
if he's watching this, he's going to go, you don't remember the car.
I know. I was like, well, because they'd always put me in like the sporty car, and
Right.
also it's not about like, oh, cool, you're like you never see the driver.
You know what? It was the Colorado Zach. It was the Chevy Colorado.
Chevy Colorado.
Yeah, there you go.
4x4.
Good correction. there.
But they're like, you're gonna need to go this way and then this way, but you need, when you come out of the shipping container, I need you to floor it, but then you need to stop on a mark. And I mean, this is for stunt industry people. Everyone's like, that's the easy part. But you have literally maybe an inch on each side of that window, and you have to make such a sharp turn. And I just remember like, don't fuck it up, Lauren. And like anytime I get nervous, the right armpit starts sweating, and I'm just like, okay. And you can't have the AC on because of you don't want to drip water, all these things. And I'm just like, okay, here we go. And also, I think my fiance or boyfriend at the time, we weren't married.
Yeah, we were married.
Anyways, and it's just like, it's his job, so I don't want to fuck it up. And then there's another stunt man that was with us, Brad Martin, who is incredible, also a legend. And so it's like, don't be the coordinator's girlfriend because that's how you got the hire. I was like, no, I got this because I'm fucking good at my job. So anyways, I did it every time. I didn't mess. It was awesome. So that was like my first kind of car stunt job. And then he just kept hiring me. Other people would hire me. I got to.
And the director and the producers love her.
They loved me.
So.
Yeah.
I
mean, you're very lovable.
Thank you.
Yes.
One of my favorites because of it's all about the outfits, because sometimes, you have to double people. You're bloody, you have wigs on. I was pissed one time. They didn't tell me they were going to get me bloody, and I had blonde hair at the time, and it dyed my hair red. And it took me a year to get that out. So as a stunt person, it's like you're expendable. It's like, who cares about your hair?
Right.
I'm like, I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, thank you, Jerome, to doing that. But I was doubling Heidi Klum. So it was America's Got Talent whenever they have like a car job or whatever and need someone because I'm her height. So I got a wig that looked so gorgeous and her pink outfit, and I got to wear her one of a kind. Like it was incredible. And that day, because one of our other stunt drivers, Stina Hubinet, she rocks. She was driving. I just had to be a passenger. So I get to be Heidi Klum in the passenger seat of this car and not do anything that day. But because we were being
Just a
safe.
double.
Just
Yeah,
a double.
just a double.
And it was amazing. And I love anything that Heidi does because I get to wear her outfit. So to me, I just want to
Super
double
fun.
people that have wild and crazy hair and
Yeah.
outfits.
I love it. So what's the difference between an actor that goes and acts and just does their role, right? And then a stunt double comes in and plays their part compared to an actor that says, I'm doing all my own stunts?
It's hard when an actor. I mean, actors are training more.
Or is
to
that
be more?
I'll say, is that a director's choice or is that the actor's
It's really an insurance company's choice right now. So it's changed now because actors are really training for the stunts and being more physical. I mean, I doubled Ashton Kutcher on Guess Who, and he could do everything I was doing, but they don't want to get him injured, and then you shut down for a couple of days. But actors are really, really talented, and they're very physical, and they're in jiu-jitsu training, and they're in MMA classes and stuff like that, and they're in driving classes. So it's not like it used to be, but there is a thing where if an actor does get injured, the production will shut down. It could be shut down for a couple weeks, a couple months. It just depends on.
Yeah, because if the stunt person gets injured, they just
Get another one.
Or expendable, you get another one. And that's where you're really, making the choice of like what's safe. And the studios don't want to have to shut down. The worst thing is shutting down a production because you don't even know if these actors are available. They're going right to another movie or something like that. So they may have to shut down for a year, to be able to finish those last 3 scenes. So, that's what it really comes down to. The stunt coordinator usually makes the call. As a stunt performer, stuntman myself, is you start doing stunts and then you elevate to eventually a stunt coordinator who actually goes in and designs the action, looks out for the safety elements of the actual stunt to make sure the actors are safe and the stunt performers are safe and the crew's safe.
Is there a time where you as a stunt coordinator, so the movie says, hey, we want this individual to do this, jump off the building and land in a moving car, and then the car catches on fire, and they tell you exactly how the scene is, and you go, there's no way we can do that. It's completely unsafe. We have to have this reconfigured.
I say that all the time. I mean, we're always saying no to directors and producers, and
how
some of them like us and some of us don't. But it's
Right.
like we definitely push the envelope. I mean, I'd probably
Is that your firm that pushes the envelope, or your company, or just
Yeah,
you?
and we're all members of SAG-AFTRA, the guild, the Actors Guild.
Correct.
So we have to go through stunt safety too. And another thing, insurance companies actually back us up too on safety standards because every stunt we have to basically write our report. It's got to go through risk assessment through the insurance company, so they have to okay it too. So
Right.
it's not just me saying no, but usually we know what they're going to allow and what they're not going to allow. But that's basically what we do.
So someone like Tom Cruise, specifically Tom Cruise, who's at the age he is, and he's the star of his films, and from my understanding, he does a lot of his own stunts. So this must be an absolute nightmare for the insurance companies and everyone involved, unless is he just self-financing all of this, and he's like, I don't give a fuck. This is what we're doing.
Big insurance policies.
He's
I'll
Tom
just say that.
Cruise, and there's big
If he
insurance.
was a stunt guy, though, he'd probably be one of the top stunt performers in the business. I mean, that guy is a very talented guy. I know many people that work with him constantly. I mean, the guy's physically fit at his age. I mean, I love Tom Cruise movies.
Yeah.
From Days of Thunder to Top Gun and stuff like that. But he's a great fighter.
Right.
But he trains in whatever he's riding a dirt bike, riding a motorcycle. I mean, this is what he does on his everyday life. So it's not like an actor that says they're an action star.
Right.
I mean, this guy actually does it. So yeah, I mean, he does do a lot more than any other studio will allow him to do
Right.
because he's Tom Cruise. But not a lot of actors could really push that. I mean, you do have Keanu Reeves that is definitely pushing the envelope of stunt driving and fights and
Right.
But
And they also
those
have
bodies are gonna fall apart
Yeah.
eventually. Like I used to treat them.
and those
so.
like the John Wicks, those films, they're also done by stunt coordinators that are now action directors or directors just in general. But the thing too is Keanu Reeves is training for weeks, months to prepare for his role. But to me, it's always frustrating when it's these smaller films where they'll call and they'll say, can we have this actor do this, fight scene? And it says, okay, first of all, you don't have in your budget for them to train for weeks or months. Because they'll always say, TJ, I want it to look like John Wick. You're like, cool. Do you have 3 months of training?
Do you have a John Wick guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you're like, when they tell you the actor, you're like, that person
And the thing,
doesn't even work out.
Keanu, he did Matrix. He's trained months before every movie. Usually 3 months of training for each movie. So it's they start adding up. So he knows what to do, what not to do.
So it's tough when an actor does say I do all. I said, because all means everything always, every time. No, you don't, because it's almost like a disrespect to the stunt performer, your stunt double that did some of the most dangerous stunts. How about you say, I did most, but my gal or my girl or my guy or girl, whatever, did all of the heavy intensive stuff because insurance wouldn't let me. Be honest, because you're still a badass. And also, they make you look even better than you probably would have
But the
looked
psychology of the stunt performers back in my dad's generation, stuff like that.
And when you say your dad's generation, what years are these approximately?
70s, 80s, even in the 90s.
Okay.
I got in the business in 91 after I graduated high school, but they didn't want any credit to be, there was no social media, so they're not, praising how great a stunt performer they are. But so we'd always be even on set, we would hide ourselves from people so that the actor can take that credit,
that recognition,
because we're hey, just sell the movie, and I'm going to go on every show with you, doubling you,
There are some actresses or actors that don't even want to see their stunt double on set.
Really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, and that thing's always interesting because sometimes maybe the double performer looks better than that actor, but we've been on some sets.
Are they ever is the actor ever potentially jealous that the stunt person could potentially take their role?
No, because stunt people, we're not that great of actors. There are some people that are good actors.
Hold on a second.
Lauren.
I'm first an actor over being a stunt performer every day of the week. But
90% of the stunt performers love doing the action. They don't like to. They don't like to act.
It's looking better. If someone,
they're not trying to get their job.
If you look at stunt, they're in the best shape you've seen anyone in their life. There's elite athletes, and so sometimes too, maybe the person thinks that they look more handsome or prettier than the guy. Maybe the guy has an 8-pack and maybe the actor has a 2-pack,
or a 4-pack.
4-pack, exactly. Or or a keg, or a keg, exactly. You never know. But we've seen that before.
Yeah, I've never been on set where an actor is or a stunt performer or a stunt double is trying to get the actor's job. They don't. They usually admire, and they're there just to really protect the actor. That's what they're there for.
Mm-hmm.
And you have guys that double my friend Tanawai Reed, who doubles The Rock. He's there to protect The Rock.
He doubles The Rock. I feel he's a big guy.
Big guy, and he's his cousin. He looks just like him. You could shoot him straight on, and you can't tell the difference. But they all have sort of the same tattoos and stuff. But he's there to protect him. He watches, everything's going on. If grips are moving something or something's unsafe, to make sure that, Dwayne is safe in that situation. And stunt, we just had a job in Savannah, and the stunt doubles, the females, stunt women, were really protecting. One girl was sick, and she's bringing her soup and, vitamins,
really
that, really taking care of their actors, because, that's their livelihood.
Right.
And,
if the actor goes down, that's your livelihood, that's your business. And they also, down to if the actor did hurt themselves, they mimic their walking, everything. So maybe you can, use them as a body double if they're walking down the street. We had one where they needed the actor to run down a wet down, cobblestone streets or whatever. And it's hold on a second. I've seen drunk people do it and failed. So we're not gonna have a sober person in wet high heels do it and fail. So use the stunt double, but they have to mimic the way that they walk. Even his dad. So his dad doubled David Hasselhoff in Knight Rider, and he had Hasselhoff's walk because he has a specific
come pick me
walk.
up.
I know, right? Totally. There's a funny story. So so weird. SpongeBob SquarePants did like a live action thing, and they
I
brought,
believe you.
Yeah, I know. It's so
It
weird.
was the 20th anniversary.
And they brought back like David Hasselhoff, and so he hired his dad to be, whatever, to double him or what was it
No,
called?
so we had David on a canoe, a kayak, and they're throwing water on him. Is in front of blue screen, and in the middle of the shot, and then I have my dad in one. I have a little brother too that, well, not little, he's 37 in the stunt business too. So he's in the back.
He's been doing it for 3 decades, like you have. The fuck
Actually,
outta
he
here.
started when he was 5. So
So
Okay.
yeah.
So yeah.
so they were operating the kayak, and then in the middle of the shot, David goes, and my dad's in a green suit, so he's not really looking at him because he just want to say, "Hey, David, it's Terry,
like a
whatever."
condom.
So he stops the shot, and he's like, "Terry," and then and the director's like, "What's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, my dad used to double on Knight Rider, and they're friends, and my dad he went to his wedding and all that stuff." So they started talking for 20 minutes, and then they would just say, "Well, can you have David, your dad, bring David to set now?" And all that. So yeah, it was really great.
That is funny.
Yeah, it was great.
And does your dad like working with you? Or is that pretty rare?
Well, it's getting better as we get older. But
God, it's the
at the
funniest
beginning,
thing
when I was
ever.
coordinating, like my friends would laugh. He was terrible to work for me. Like everything was done his way, and I'm like, Dad, that was in the 80s.
Yeah.
We're in 2000s.
Yeah,
Things are changing, but
Him-
it's gotten better.
Terry, his dad, Big Terry, because in his hometown they call TJ Terry, so the little terrier. Anyway, so it's Terry, TJ, and then Tim.
Tim's your little brother.
Little brother.
Yeah. And so seeing them 3 on set it's like, watching the 3 Spider-Mans, like who did this? Like, they all argue, everyone can do it better, and but because
there's there's ways to rig certain things.
Right.
And then everyone's got, but my brother's a really good, he's a master rigger, and he does really good. He does a lot of the Marvel movies. So even my technology or how we would do it, they're change the way you do things. So, I have to listen to him. I'm like, oh, that,
Right.
That's a great idea. Let's do it.
And that's for safety reasons, or is that for the
Safety and just things to look better on camera. 'Cause,
Right.
The technology is changing, like with computerized winches and, the way we used to do it manually. It's all, technology keeps on advancing more and more and more to make the shots look even better.
And I'll touch on this, but then I want to go back to that. Has AI changed what you guys are doing?
AI is changing a lot of what we're doing. They're doing digi doubles, so it's a CGI character of the stunt person or the actor doing parts of the stunt. So it's taking away.
Takes away business from you guys.
Yeah, because they'll scan your body and then they'll just use it, essentially as CGI. But
And they're taking the movements of the stunt performer. They're scanning it, so they have that information, and then they can recreate it in other things.
So kind of stealing it.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, and so
Sort
that's
of.
what the whole thing about too is with we were fighting with the unions is they want us to sign your contract that you're okay with giving away that
Your
your
likeness.
likeness, and it's that's not. One, they're not going to pay for it,
Yeah.
and the fee is so small what they want to pay for it. It's kind of, I always bring up, but it was another country, but in Game of Thrones, when you look at those epic coliseums, they took
Dubrovnik.
Dubrovnik. Yeah, there you go. Look at you. So they would take.
I've never watched Game of Thrones, by the way.
Oh, really?
But I was in Dubrovnik.
Oh,
really?
okay.
And when I was there, everyone's like, "Oh, you're from America. This is where the Game of Thrones was." I was like, "I'm the only American that's probably ever been here, hanging out with my wife, and I've never watched it." I
Are
don't
you not
know.
into like Vikings or any of like that old school? No.
I mean, I'm sure it's good.
You were like,
I'm sure it's a great show.
I think
great
someone
series.
pitched it to you wrong. They probably said like,
Dragons and fucking wizards and
dragons
shit.
and incest, and you're like, no, thank you. It's a great series, but
Yeah.
anyhow, so they
Great
would
place,
take.
too.
I do want to go. I want to go to all. Like, there should be probably a Game of Thrones
Tour.
Yeah.
I would do that, especially if they went to Iceland.
Yeah.
But they took doubles and they put them in the crowd, and they were just extras, and then they duplicated them. So let's say you had 100 doubles, they made them look like 100,000 doubles, but they only paid those people once, like for a daily. So they're using them multiple days and multiple roles, which you can't get away with that here because that was a non-union show.
Right.
But it's a lot of that stuff is that's what we're kind of fighting for is
Right.
our jobs.
And I do have to say one thing too. Is it Thor?
Yes.
So I was in Iceland playing hockey, and my friends and I stumbled into this bar, because the timing was different for like, because we had just got there and we went to this bar. It was like a weird hour and the bar was closed, but this back door was open and we went through the back door and it was a bunch of like these power lifters and these, what do you call them? Like strong men.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
women.
yeah.
And so there's these huge individuals in there, right? And so they're like, you're not supposed to be in there because clearly we did not fit the right size. And
Damn.
I'll send a picture to so we can put it
Yeah.
up of a picture of me next to one of those guys and this girl. But anyway, they let us stay in there because they thought it was funny that we snuck in because there's so many people that wanted to be part of this party, but we didn't know. We were just a bunch of hockey players that wanted to have drinks.
Right, yeah.
And come to find out, Thor was one of the guys that I had met, and I had no idea that's the guy from Game of Thrones. And so I hung out and drank with him and ate with all of them, and they're these monstrous sized
Huge.
humans.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, what? So you're like, I love that they like kind of snuck you in. They're like, what the heck are you doing
Yeah,
here? You
they're
know?
like, "What are you guys doing
yeah,
here?"
women, bigger traps than you.
Okay, one more question on this, then we're going to move on to the next thing. So, film, television, animation, and commercials and music videos, right? So, what's the difference for you guys when you're getting hired for these jobs, or to you as a stunt coordinator or a stunt
Time to
person?
do it is like the hardest thing. So in a movie, you have months, weeks to prepare for it. In commercials and videos, they by the time the ad agency or the record label tells them to do it, you may have 3 or 4 days. So we have to, and then they'll give us the concept. They're like, okay, we want to do a fight like Atomic Blonde. I'm like, they spent 3 weeks, 3 months training for that, and you think we could do it in a day or two. So we have to give them sort of some adjustments to make it look good. But we do some pretty, I did a Kid Cudi music video. Was it last year? 2 years ago? And we did some pretty big car action. And that, car air cannons and pipe
Shut down the
ramps
freeway down in Long Beach,
Long
which
Beach.
is so cool.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was really fun. But
How hard is it to get permits to do that?
It's not our job, that's production.
production,
so I'm
producers
like,
have to
you
deal with that.
figure it out. We just get to
I
have
just deal with
fun.
the cars.
Justin,
Yeah, exactly. Some guy like that.
some guy like that.
I don't like to do paperwork.
Yeah,
We're talent.
but
I'm
like
kidding.
things like that,
I hear you.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
we still have like for something like that. It still takes certain time. Like it takes a week and a half to put the roll cages in the car and prep the car. So they had actually the only time I've ever had a music video where we actually had to push it because we couldn't get the cars done in time. But then they saw it, and I gave the director some cool ideas of how to do it, and then we shot it, and it looked great.
Yeah, like music videos, he's done over 200, maybe 250 now, but music videos. And those are mini films that are shot in a week, but our stunts are done in a day. So when a film says, okay, we got to do the stunt and we have a week to do it. And he's like, really? Like we could do it in a day, So
Right.
it's like, it's speed. And I'd say one of the longest ones too, and I always love to talk about it, is Will Smith bungee jumping out of a helicopter into the Grand Canyon for his 50th birthday. Yeah. This was 3 years ago or something.
This was not a stunt. This was a.
This was a real thing.
It was Google and YouTube did it.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
and it was one of it took. What's wild is it took months and probably maybe a year for them to plan it, because you're also trying to plan the perfect timing of the air quality. When we went, there was thunderstorms, and anytime there's a lightning strike, you have to wait 30 minutes if it's within like 10 miles or
to
something.
fly the helicopter.
Yeah, to fly a helicopter.
Or-
It gets grounded. Yeah.
The
Or even
best-
filming with generators, and you have to shut generators.
Yeah, but that was wild, because I remember sitting next him. We had some guys in the helicopter, and I'm standing next to TJ, and we're like, "That's $1 billion about to jump out. This is your career, and
Right.
I will stay with you as long as I can." He jumped out, and like as you're seeing the horizon, he falls below the horizon, and you're like, "Okay, come back up, come back
bounce
up,"
back
and
up.
then all of a sudden he comes up. We're like, "Yeah!" It was so amazing.
So this is he wanted this for his birthday. This has nothing to do with making a movie, but
No.
they know you guys have the skill to make sure this is done safely.
It was a challenge for some other influencers that challenged him to do it, and then we did a bunch of tests in LA,
His double.
with his stunt double, testing it and weight, and we used dummies, and we did a bunch of stuff like that. Then we tested it there, but our biggest problem was actually the weather. We had hailstorms and rain, and they were broadcasting it live, so then we're freaking out like, are we going to be able to do it within this live
Is there a
time?
delay as
A
well? Because if
delay,
something
and
happens, I mean,
then
And if they're doing
storm.
it live, they don't want to delay. They're like, hey, we don't want to post.
They're like, we're going.
Yeah.
But
was
that was
cool.
a great opportunity, but definitely stressful. Like I didn't realize how much stress it was until we got him off the line. We landed the helicopter, got him off the line, and I walked him to his.
So you're in
family.
the helicopter when he does it.
Oh no, I connected
No.
him to the
Okay.
helicopter, and then I had my stunt riggers connect him and fly in the plane. And when I watched him with his kids or his family, and Jaden, I've worked with Jaden and his wife on other videos, and it's just like I felt my shoulders just go down. I was like, oh, I guess I was stressed.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a lot of money jumping out.
Yeah, and that's a live event. So live events, we also did the Blue Man Group many times. So live events are totally different than film because also cut, start over, live event. If there's something you have to, quickly, call an audible if something different has to happen.
Yeah.
But in stunts, it's,
Like I just did the Grammys. We did the SZA performance of this last year's Grammys, and they have one chance to do it. So we rehearsed it all week, get it done. But it's like I have to give the confidence of all the performers, the stunt performers that we used. They did samurai sword fights.
and this girl's on a table here,
Oh, yeah.
and then they have talent around the table, and they're doing the samurai. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, of course, my husband would, of course, not put anyone in danger. But you're watching it, and you're like, oh my god, this. If the actor, or whoever's at the table, there's actors, musicians. You lean in just because you think it's cool or something, you're gonna get your nose snipped.
Right.
So it's kind of.
But I told them to keep their nose back.
Yeah.
So when you watch a movie or a commercial or any shows that you happen to just see on TV, do you look at that and go, oh, that's awful? And I don't mean the acting or the show, the stunt. When you see something, or are you like, yeah, I get why they did it that way?
My biggest thing is when I'm watching a movie and I see the stunt guys and my friends, I'm like, shit's gonna go down. So that's my biggest thing.
I hate it. Watching anything, this guy will watch something and he says, oh, hey, look, there's so-and-so. And I'm like, I still believe in the magic of filmmaking, and I love to believe that something magical is going to happen. But when I know now all 9 fight guys, I'm like, a fight's going down, But he always ruins it. And he's like, oh, that's the cage. I'm shocked they didn't pull that out or anything. And I'm like, man, just let me
I'm
believe.
getting better as I get older.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Look at that missed hit. I'm like,
yeah, that's usually editing.
yeah. You blame it on
Editing problems.
So I want to talk
Justin.
about Jocko.
Yep.
But I also, before we do that, I want to talk about the gluten-free diet water.
Gluten-free diet water, never leave your home without your chubby. So gluten-free diet water is the creation of Uncle Bob. Uncle Bob's going to love this. So Uncle Bob is actually TJ's uncle. And
First time drinking it.
yes. Oh, hold on for the silence. Hold on. Yeah. Yeah, taste that. I know.
I can feel my abs getting better right
Right?
now.
I know.
Just shredding it away, isn't it?
Literally, oh my gosh, it's your views start going higher. It's amazing. So everyone's drinking.
Everyone gets water.
Everyone's
You
like
get a water. You get a water. You get a
shredded
water.
abs. It also keeps all of your exes out of your DMs. I'm telling you, just drinking this water does amazing wonders.
So obviously what's the reason?
Okay, so Uncle
talk
Bob.
to me, Goose.
Uncle Bob says so. Every 4th of July, we go to North Carolina to visit TJ's family, and we're in the jacuzzi having a couple cocktails. And Uncle Bob says, "Hey, what do you think about gluten-free diet water?" And I was like, "I think that's a great idea." So he says, if we put some money behind this, like, do you think this is a thing that we can make happen in LA? And I said, great. So I'm not sure. I'm the marketing, he's money. I don't know anything about beverage business at all. The food and beverage business is so tough. I found Palomar Mountain Spring Water, which is down in San Diego. It's award-winning, so you're drinking award-winning water. I found a company that bottles it, and I found a dropship company close to each other. Because the thing about water is the freight. So
Yeah, of course.
It's like if I'm selling
Shipping
everyday
air
GSD, when t-shirts, it's very easy. You
Yeah.
can sell it online. This is much harder. I thought LA was going to be a bigger deal. Most everyone that's buying it is all middle, like flyover states, and
Yeah.
New York, Jersey, Wisconsin, Minnesota, all these random states. They get it. I don't know what's going on, LA, but everyone says you should have it at Erewhon. And I said, I know, but trying to put something in a space, it's like the mafia on the shelf
Yeah,
space.
absolutely.
Yeah. And so I get the girls that go to Erewhon and they're like, oh my God, I've been drinking water with gluten in it. And I'm like, yeah. And I said, I don't know what, this is why, this is why your man left you, is because you're drinking the wrong water. You're drinking the Hailey Bieber smoothie
bloated.
and you're not drinking the gluten-free diet water. We do, if we can blow it up, we want to expand to vegan diet water, and that would be our sparkling water. And my goal, and I tell everyone this, so let's make this big, is I want to have the vegan diet water. I want to make these custom magnums, like how Ace of Spades has the champagne. And I want vegan diet water showers in the club. Like, I want this to be the biggest, joke, or just, I want it to be a
fun.
movement. Yeah, because the thing is me and Uncle Bob have, our company is called Two Things in Life. And there's only two things you need in life, and it's a laugh and water. I mean, you probably need air and a bunch of other bullshit, but air, laughter.
That's some everyday GSD shit right there. Just,
Right? So it's our
water
fun
and
thing.
laughter.
Yeah.
You're gonna live to 120 years old in the Amazon.
Exactly. That's all you need. And so those are our chubbies. And then we have our 1 liters. I'm currently sold out of our 1 liters. We'll be getting more. But the chubbies,
So where can someone buy this if they were to go online and buy it?
GFDwater.com. Yes, they can buy them online.
GFD.
Water.com. Right here, our editor Justin will put GFDwater.com.
Justin's like someone else is gonna. Justin says someone else is gonna do that.
Yeah.
But.
We're in a bunch of like Beverly Hills doctors' offices, and one specifically, Rand, Rush to Beauty. I love Rand. Rand's like, my clients love it. And I always tell them, like, hey, it makes your Botox last longer, tightens your skin. And
Well, the truth is, if you're drinking water, you're gonna be more hydrated. So all that is true.
I don't know about other waters, but I know our water does
the other
that.
waters doesn't. The other water's shit.
Other waters, you know what I call other waters? A lot of people are drinking purified water and they don't know it. Anytime your bottle crinkles, it's probably purified. You know which ones I'm talking. It's the cheap ones that we get on set.
Yeah, and then you crush them. And
I'm like, this is recyclable. I mean, everything's recyclable, but.
So we were in Las Vegas, obviously just recently, and we met this lady, and she was telling us her daughter sells this machine that puts alkaline in water or something, and you can actually go through the airport with it.
I am researching this.
Yeah, I feel like this is crazy, although it's an interesting concept. But I did Google a little bit about it.
Is it true?
No, I didn't find that. I was in the air flying when I was Googling.
We should probably hire her as a marketer, because she almost made you believe you could take a 6-pack of water.
Yeah, but apparently it's a company that's what do you call them when they multimedia?
Multi-level
marketing.
Yeah,
pyramid scheme.
I think that's what it is. But I
They
don't
bring
know.
in 5 people.
but I will say she was extremely nice, and I did. Her daughter already texted me who sells it, so I am going to investigate. And because I do like good water, but it's just kind of funny now that I'm in Hollywood and I've just learned about gluten-free diet water. And by the way, it tastes great.
Thank you.
So I do have a question for you though. What about a picture of you, life size or at a gas station, something?
Literally, that's what I have to do, because I already have the idea. I have so many. So one day, my Uncle Bob says to me, he says, because when I visited him, I wore like an orange shirt, and I said, orange is not my color. He goes, I'm so sorry, because my wardrobe now consists of orange, and it just doesn't go well. But I got orange bikinis. I have orange like Vegas outfits, because I have thought about doing the cardboard cutout, but I need like Turner's Liquor or liquor stores. Let me sell my water. I also want to get hot guys with abs, get them like tiny little trunks, orange, and then girls, hot guy and girls, whatever your flavor is, and then pass them out in Beverly Hills, like during, the weekend while the tourists come. I think that would be a great idea.
I love it. I support this message. Yes. Let's talk about Jocko.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. So Jocko is, it's a.
While I'm working on my abs over here.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a COVID baby, I should say. Do you want me to tell you the story how you came up with it? Well, first, it's a tech platform. It's masterclass meets YouTube. It's where content creators like yourself can monetize your content. So if you can, let's say you have a profile, let's call it like a Facebook profile, versus we could call it the OnlyFans profile, as TJ brings it up. But you have a profile online and you want to have your podcast, videos, things, maybe you are a Pilates instructor or you want to do money marketing, and you have videos that you put on your YouTube or whatnot. You can have subscribers subscribe to it. You can do live streams, you can Zoom, and it's a way to monetize. On YouTube, I think you have to have like 1,000 subscribers or something.
You do. And that's why we keep pushing. So I have a little QR code on my shirt. Here. And so whenever we're in a restaurant or a bar, someone's like, what's Everyday GSD stand for? Most people say German Shepherd Dog. There's a couple dirty sayings that people say, but I won't say that, even though we do curse on the show, but I think it's inappropriate. So we put these QR codes so we can have people scan it, and we have them subscribe so we can get to 1,000. Even though other platforms, we have tons of people watching and listening, but we want them to go to YouTube so we can get to 1,000. We're at like at 890 or 860.
Subscribe.
Yeah, we're constantly,
Subscribe Everyday GSD.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is, it's like you as a content creator have all of these fans that are viewing. They would love to give you money, but also they want to go to a platform that they trust and whatnot, or they don't know how. They don't want to do the PayPal thing. It's an odd thing. So you could have no followers. You could start monetizing today. So we built this platform because TJ saw me working out during COVID. You couldn't go to any place to go work out. So there's this celebrity trainer that I go to, and on Instagram, he was doing free classes, but you could donate if you wanted to. I mean, there was, I don't know, let's say 60, 90 people on there. Even if everyone gave $5, it's a lot of money, but I donated a lot, but other people, maybe they didn't. And TJ's like, so this guy's just doing some free workouts and maybe people will donate? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, huh. So he comes out like the next day, he goes, what if we create a platform like OnlyFans? I'm like, hold on, are you researching OnlyFans?
You're taking pictures of feet.
I know, exactly. I was like, yeah, exactly, like feet.com. And said, why don't we build a platform where, the mom that's in Minnesota that has, does yoga or does crocheting and is teaching people stuff, why not build a platform so she can monetize her content and she doesn't have 1,000 followers? But sometimes they have a really strong core of 500 or 100, it doesn't matter. But,
right.
Obviously there's going to be those high 1%. Even also OnlyFans, only the top 2% of them ever make over $1,500. Not everyone's making the Cardi B money or the Bad Baby money or... I don't know, who's the other people?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a trick question.
Trick question.
Score!
I've never been on it.
Yeah,
I've never been
winning over here, winning.
Winning. Also on, it's like, this is great. And we don't want to do adult content because what we'd like to do is we'd like to have Jocko
Have a clean
Jr.
platform.
Yeah, clean platform where anyone, where our pop can go on there and be proud of his kids. But then we can have also Jocko Jr. So many kids go to YouTube, and there is a YouTube for kids, but you can find some dirty stuff on there still.
Yeah.
Like they're not monitoring it enough. So Jocko Jr., you have like, hey kid, I don't think your kid should be on, the phone anyways, but like, let's say, here, you want to learn Spanish or you want to, learn how to ABCs, whatever it is. Go to Jocko Jr., pick what you want, boom. It helps parents and it educates the kids, kind of like your children's book. If you didn't know, he has a children's book coming out.
It's coming out soon.
Mm-hmm. Is it this year, by the way?
It will come out this year.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Can we say what year it is right now?
Oh yeah, it's we are in 2024.
2024.
Yeah. I was like, I just have to know what year we were. Yeah, 2024.
So
the goal is before by December.
Oh, perfect.
By the end of the year.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Yeah. So you see the value in helping the kids because then they end up being like us. And I don't want to see a bunch of shitheads out in the world.
No one does.
No, we want to kind of harvest like
I
these.
want to pay it forward. And another thing that we're doing with Jocko is a little different than other platforms because when we built this took a couple years to build the platform, is we saw that they had a bunch of things, but it didn't really help the content creators. So in Jocko, we actually have a success manager. So depending on what platform, what subscription base you have, you'll either be talking to a success manager once a month, twice a month, or 4 times a month. And they'll actually go through all their analytics and all their social media and teach them how to market themselves better, or look through the videos and say, what you need to do, you need to do this. So we're gonna have some social media managers and specialists that would actually be more like we work in the film industry,
more
like a talent manager or an agent. And then we could also bring in brand deals and stuff like that, because brands will be coming to us and be like, we want to know who is the most successful or who has this market, and we'll have all the analytics and we'll be talking to our success managers and be like, this one's got 10,000 subscribers, but they're active. Like they're actually buying products from them, they're buying videos. You might have someone that has a couple 100 million followers, but people are just watching them. They're consumers, but they're not buying their products. So we'll be able to tell them who's actually buying their products.
So where are you guys at with the platform right now?
We built it. It's ready to go. We're ready to turn it on. We're just meeting with investors so we could hire a bunch of employees.
Because we need to hire the team of success managers. Yeah. We're running out of Vegas, so it'll be run out of Vegas for tax purposes.
Yes. and not only that, but with
some of the best tech.
They have a really good tech community there.
Yeah.
We need good tech people. We need really good, social media people that they, Vegas does it really good there.
Yeah.
So the success man, I mean, YouTube, they have like their studio, or every platform has like, hey, come to this like Q&A thing, or, frequently asked questions of if you're having trouble marketing. We want to have someone that's going to, you run your own business, but it'll say like, listen, Darin, you have all of these people going to this one, podcast that you were talking about coffee. It's like, what?
Good Dudes Coffee.
Yeah, Good Dudes Coffee. Good Dudes Coffee.
On
by the way.
gooddudescoffee.com.
And maybe you should do another podcast about not another coffee, but like with, Bridges.
Yeah. Josh Bridges.
I was like, Jeff Bridges?
Yeah.
The dude?
The dude.
So, but that's the thing too, is a lot of these content creators are out there just willy-nilly on a single boat in the middle of the ocean. And the ones that make it either like, again, are selling feet photos, or like they hit that gem, and there's a bunch of people in the middle that are not making enough money. And it's like low-hanging fruit. Why don't you have millions of people made a lot more money than focusing on, nothing against like the Charlie D'Amelios or, the high earning TikTok stars, but there's a lot of other people that need more light shine on them.
And we don't want just all entertainers and stuff like that showing content and stuff like that. We want someone to actually learn something and teach them something, like if
I
they're
want that chick
Pilates
from Minnesota.
instructors
I
or-
really want these moms.
It's always someone from Minnesota who's doing crochet, you said.
Yeah.
I'm just
It
kidding.
is. I've watched them. Let me tell you. So, yeah.
No, this is awesome. So we've got look at that.
Your chubby almost hit your chubby.
My chubby almost hit my chubby. Yeah. The gluten-free diet water is awesome. I love it. I hope it really takes off.
Thank you.
And of course, Jocko, I love the idea and the concept.
thanks.
But one last message for the audience. You guys have been in this industry for a while, and I don't mean the water industry or the
exactly.
the chubby industry.
chubby, yeah.
If someone was wanting to everyday GSD and they wanted to get into this lifestyle, this career path, what advice would you have for them?
I would say if you're everyday GSD, get shit done. Especially if you want to be in the entertainment industry, you have to really want to do it. Like, you have to have really thick skin and know that you're going to get 1,000 no's. And you have to know that at 1,001, you may get that yes. But you have to really love whatever it is. You might actually get into the stunt industry and be like, I don't like this at all, but I really like this guy that's setting up this podcast. Like, I keep seeing the guy or the gaffers. Like, you might like a different part of the industry, but it's never give up. Of course, it's like, but that's a true thing. Never give up. But find a community.
It's cliche, but it's facts.
It's facts. But
Yeah,
find
absolutely.
a community around you, because if I, they say you're a, what is it? You're a
Product of your environment.
Yeah, product of your environment. You could have that one, shithead friend that everyone has them, and maybe they're there to remind you, or their family member to remind you of like what not to do. But clean house and get people that are all looking for you to shine. What is it? Rising tides float all boats. So if all of us in this room are all rooting for us, and not this, oh yeah, I hope you get it, but their intention is truly want you to rise, and they're asking you like, how are you doing? Like, are you staying accountable to what you said you're going to do?
Anything I can do to help you.
Yeah, without wanting anything back. I think community is the number one thing that a lot of people fail on focusing on. And your family sometimes isn't supposed to be your community. You're not supposed to, sometimes your family doesn't root for you. So you have to really go out there. The stunt community is a small community. It's also a community that can be catty, but it is also a family, and a lot of people look out for each other, but you find the pockets of people that, want to look out for you, and find a really good partner that will support you as well if you can. And if not, just be single.
That's a great everyday GSD message. Do you have one?
I don't know if mine's going to be that good, but
You're like what she said.
yeah, I think you need to be very tenacious and very focused on where you're going to be, and be prepared for that moment. Because if you're not prepared for that moment to succeed, I've seen so many stunt performers do one job that makes their career. And I always tell people, I go, be prepared for that one job, because you're in the right place at the right time. You double the right actor, you do the right gag, whatever, and you will be known for that. And it'll just go, you double a certain actor, and the actor goes, I want you in my career, my contract, or you want this, whatever it is. Or you meet that right producer, or the right stunt coordinator that will actually fund you through the rest of your life and make your career. And that has to do with everything in like chiropractic and our other business and stuff like that. It's like, even, we have 4 different companies and stuff like that. So we try to do something in every company, every country, every day. So try to do something. If it's an email out to someone, reach out to someone. But definitely, Lauren touched on community. It's so important to keep positive people around you, because this business, like any other business, will beat you up emotionally, and you just got to keep on going. Justin got beat up with his film 500. Like, you get close, you're almost ready to do it. But he's very tenacious too, of like taking it to the next level. And
Does not give up, that guy right there.
you can't give up. Whatever
He's going to say the show's not about me. Move on.
Yeah. But I mean, he wants the compliments. But really being prepared for that moment, and being tenacious and surrounding yourself with a great community to do it, and train for it. Whatever you're doing, if you're something athletic you're training for, a musician, marketing, just be ready to take as many classes you possibly can, and get a mentor, and really soak that mentor for information.
And the community too. It's also what you put in your mind, and like what you say. Consume things that are good for you. Everyday GSD. So the more that you watch of this show, but it's true, the more good stuff that you watch of other people, watch all the people, like read books, like don't stay on social media and just look at everyone saying like, look at this new car that I got, or this, whatever. Like, it's just toxic.
Get off fake media.
Get off fake media and follow people that inspire you. And then, just, everyday GSD.
Everyday GSD. I love it.
And drink your water.
And drink your water. Okay, Lauren and TJ, I really appreciate you guys. I've got a little gift for both of you. I've got a T-shirt. Normally, I sit closer in our studio, so I'm just going to hand this over. Here's one for you.
I'm so excited.
And then
Yes.
Toss this to you.
You have no idea. I love merch.
So these are our Everyday GSD shirts. I'm so honored that you guys took time out of your busy schedule to come on the show. I know we just got into town, and Hollywood's a very, very busy place, but thank you guys. I appreciate you, and I'm going to follow your journey as you guys continue to Everyday GSD. And however I can help you in any of your projects or your businesses, please reach out to me. You guys are awesome.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Welcome
thank
to
you.
our lives. It is going to be the longest road you've ever had.
I love it. I'm ready for it. Thank you,
Awesome.
guys.
Thank
Appreciate you.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for watching the Everyday GSD podcast. Episodes come out on the 1st and 15th of the month. If you want to watch people or listen to people that Everyday GSD, please download and subscribe wherever you listen or watch the Everyday GSD podcast. Everyday GSD.